What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. The STL Bucket List Show is driven by Bomarito Automotive Group. Bomarito is Missouri's #1 car dealership with over 20 locations, so I guarantee that there's one in your neighborhood. Since the 1970s, Bomarito has sold over 1 million cars, and John and the entire team made us feel completely comfortable when we picked up our new vehicle recently for the family. So I can't thank the Bomarito team enough for driving this episode forward, and enjoy the show.
What's up, St. Louis? This is Nico Marie here with STL Bucket List. Just wrapped up the podcast. Got my meditation album out now, Meeting Myself for the First Time. Make sure you check it out. Peace and love, y'all.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on? They'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.
What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. We highlight the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special. We have one of those people in the studio today with a new album on the way, Meeting Myself for the First Time. Absolutely love the name. We got Nico Marie in the studio. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me, Luke.
No, absolutely. I've been a fan of yours. I like the stuff you do on social media. My favorite thing that you probably do is those mixes.
Yes.
And those are just super fun to just listen. I love how you like kind of keep it current.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how you keep up with that. You batch record all those? Or you
Yes, I do.
Okay, I was
do
going to
batch
say, because I was like,
record a
those
lot
are
of
like
them.
a lot to have that type of energy the whole time.
Yes. I just I listen to a lot of great music, and then of course on Instagram there's all of this content.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite features on Instagram right now is when somebody like puts a song on a reel or something, you could click on the song and just push add, and it'll add it to your Spotify. So I get a lot of music that way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
I knew you
just
could click
it.
on the reel and then see other people that made reels from it, but you can just click it and it links
Yeah,
back
if you
to
click
your
like, and it's an actual like song that's
Okay.
streaming, you could click add and it'll add it directly to your Spotify. You don't have to leave the app or anything.
Wow.
So I discover a lot of music like that, and of course my content, like because of my content, it shows me similar content.
Yeah.
So or even when people comment on my posts and they're like, oh, if you like this, you might like this.
Oh, wow.
And I find out a lot of stuff like that. So
So
yeah.
is your feed more music or is it more yoga?
It's more music. It's
Okay.
starting to be some yoga because I have 2 different pages. So it's starting to be some yoga like seeping over into the DJ side, but it's mostly music, and then like, funny stuff, babies and puppies or whatever I'm
Babies
watching.
and puppies. So I want to do a quick intro, kind of let people know who you are. I mean, I think that most people that listen to our show has probably seen you in person at an event where you've DJ'd, or they've watched some of your, I know my sister randomly like took one of your guys' I think New Year yoga classes. So she was
Yeah.
just telling me about that. So I thought that was super dope. But we got Nico Marie. You've always loved music and movement. And as a child, you wanted to be a professional dancer.
I did.
Okay, so times have changed a little bit, but still movement, still
Yes.
music. And now you're a well-known, respected DJ, not just in St. Louis, but across the U.S. And then your yoga channel with over 190,000 followers on YouTube. So you got the plaque, but you're
Yes,
trying
I
to
got
get some
the
more
1K,
plaques.
100K plaque. I'm
That's
trying to
so
get
cool.
to. I think the next one after that is 1 million.
Oh, okay, so that might be a
So it's
minute,
gonna
but
be a while.
it could speed up. It could speed up a little because I feel like you just got 100, and then it just
Yes, I
jumped up.
just got 100, and then I guess maybe like a year later now, maybe a year or 2. I don't know, something like that. I'm at 190. I'm close. I'm
Yeah.
real close to 200. So I know I'm gonna hit it this year.
That's
you know.
so dope. And then you're doing something that you never anticipated, because as somebody that does yoga, somebody that does DJing, you never really think about an album,
Yeah.
because you're playing other people's music.
Yeah.
So before we get into the album, before we get into the yoga and the DJing, I want people to kind of learn a little bit more about you. So are you from St. Louis?
Yes, born and raised.
Tell us about your childhood, kind of where you're from,
Well,
maybe
I
shout out
grew
your
up-
school and stuff.
Yes, I grew up in Cool Valley. You know
Okay.
anything about Cool
Yeah.
Valley?
A little bit. Yeah.
It's Cool Valley is a little tiny little place. It's kind of by Umsel.
Mhm. Bell Reeve kind of area, or no?
Like by Ferguson. It's
Okay.
like right outside of Ferguson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Small
So I grew up
town.
in Cool Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, small town. I knew everybody up and down my street,
Mhm.
playing outside, that type of thing. Went to Cool Valley Elementary.
Mhm.
Went to Berkeley Middle. Went to McClure High and McClure South Berkeley High.
Mm-hmm.
Played sports all throughout. And as a kid, I was always involved in creative things. Like when I was, a little kid, I was in tap dance, ballet, gymnastics, like all of that stuff. Like my mom, she put us in all of that stuff. So that's why I wanted to be a dancer. I'm like, I'm gonna be somebody's backup dancer. And we had a big you remember like those chests with the 6 CD changer and all of that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
So we had one of those, and we had records in there, and we had
I used to have
CDs
one in the car in the back. You would open the trunk and put the CDs in, and then you could play the different CDs in the trunk. Yeah,
so good. But yes, we had music around. I mean, I was in like choir at church and stuff, so I was always in dancing, singing, performing, some type of. And then as I got older, moving into sports, there was still some type of spotlight, some type of platform. But I've always been creative. And my father, he was a musician. He played guitar. My mom, she wasn't musical very much. Like she could not sing a lick, but.
But she put you guys in it, so she knew it was important. She's like, "Well, I'm gonna let you go do your thing." And then I'm gonna sit
she was
here
like
and
a crafty mom. Like she would and that seeped over to me too. Like she was like home garden television mom.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like watch that stuff and
DIY stuff.
Yeah. So we sang, we danced, we drew, we painted, we read books, we listened to music, all of that stuff. Read poetry. Like she was buying us Nikki Giovanni books and Toni Morrison books when we were kids. And stuff like that. So yeah, it's that's why I say like on the trailer I made, everything has kind of led me up to this point. Right. It's like all of those things encompassed together.
So you've been in the industry for 13 years now.
Yeah.
So what was your first? So like your mom had all these influences on you. Obviously your dad did too, and like where you grew up and being creative. But did you ever, before you like got into the creative field, did you like think, oh, I'm just gonna go get a job, or like were you always in creative jobs?
No, I was like very much thinking like, step ladder. Like, you get a job, then whatever happens, go to school, and all of that stuff. But like, so many things happened in my life. So like my mom passed away when I was 16.
Oh my God.
So then that just like, after that, you're like, I don't know what to do. Exactly. Like you feel like
your guidance is gone.
Your guidance is gone. Like, okay, so who's going to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing? And in school, they don't really teach you how life really works, So there was a long period where I was just doing whatever, like, going to jobs, worked at Steak and Shake for 2 years. After that, I worked at Maristar Casino for like 7 years, and I worked at Trader Joe's. So I was like doing my jobs, but then.
Were you a dealer at the casino?
I was a slot attendant at the casino.
So I was like, I cannot see you dealing cards
right
now.
No, I wasn't dealing cards, thank goodness. I was on the slot machine floor, you know what I mean? And then I started DJing. I started DJing while I was working there. So, I was kind of like doing that on the side. And then it just started kicking up. And I moved. I was working at Trader Joe's. I was working at Trader Joe's, DJing on the side. Then, pandemic happened. I started doing YouTube, you know. So I'm like doing all of these things. But
so how I'm gonna ask 2 questions. So how did you get into DJing? Was there somebody that influenced you, or was there like somebody that you looked up to, like, oh, if she's doing it or if he's doing it, then I want to do that? And then the second part of that question is, how long did it take you to go full time? Because it sounded like up until the pandemic you were working other jobs, so you haven't been full time. You've always been doing multiple jobs.
Yes. So how I got into DJing was actually I was driving down Airport Road, and there's a Berkeley Community Center is on Airport Road, and there was on the like marquee outside was like free DJ lessons. I was like, okay.
I'm gonna pop in there.
So I just went. Ended up going. It was taught by a DJ here, both local legends, a guy named Toss and Ted and another guy named DJ Voodoo. So they were just doing like this, community thing. And then after a while, I kind of linked up with some of my friends who are DJing and learned a few more things. And so how I like kind of transitioned from my 9 to 5 was like, gigs just started kicking up. And then COVID, working in a grocery store during COVID was like a terrible time. You know what I mean? It was a terrible time. Like, not to trigger us and take us back to that space, but we saw a lot of terrible things happening at grocery stores, and that was real. That was real. And it got to a point where I was so incredibly stressed. I was so incredibly stressed. I would have chest pains. You know what I mean? I'm like 20, I don't know, 27 or something, 27, 28 years old, 25, however old I was.
Getting stressed out over like
Getting
a
stressed.
job at a grocery, like this ain't worth it.
Like chest pains, like every day I wake up, I'm nauseous. You
Like,
know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, I cannot keep doing this, you know? So the funny thing that kind of transitioned me out of it is when I was like starting my YouTube, I mean, I would go to work 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and start recording videos when I got home. You know what I mean? And be doing that for hours and do that every day. But I was like, okay, what kind of content can I make on YouTube? Like, what can I do different, or what can I kind of do to bring my channel up? So I was seeing people make videos. I did yoga for a year straight, and this is what happened. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to do yoga for a year straight. So I started doing yoga every day and meditating every day. And it just completely changed how I felt about everything. My chest pain started going away. My nauseousness started going away. And I'm like, okay, am I happy right now? What do I want to do? You know? And I have to leave here. You know what I mean? I have to leave this environment if I want to thrive, because this is not. Like, for a long time, I was thinking, like, this is my end point. I get good insurance here. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people who've been working here for a long time. Like, I can keep doing that forever. But then I'm like, no. You know, actually, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I don't want to do that. I don't feel good here, you know? So after some time and the more I started practicing yoga and meditating every day, I mean, I was just building, like, this confidence and this desire for more in my life. And that's what inspired me to quit. I found a part-time job. So I did work part-time as a sub for a little while, substitute teacher, for like, I don't know, a couple months or so. And I was like, okay, when I start making enough money on YouTube to pay my rent, I'm going to stop working. I said, I'm going to try to look for, because I didn't really like substitute teaching either. So I was like, I'm going to look for I'm going to try one more time to look for something part-time. Because I mean, every job application I was filling out, I was not getting, you know? Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna try one more time. If I don't get this last little job, if this doesn't work out, whatever, you know, I'm just gonna do it. So that's what I did.
And that was in 2020, or that was in 2020.
Yeah, something like that, like
so
2021.
You were like DJing as much as you could.
Yes, you know? And I was like putting all my DJ money aside, you know, like, and thank goodness I had that. You know, thank goodness I had that, and thank goodness I really had once I get like a schedule going and I can get like pretty disciplined on something, like so with the YouTube videos, once I really got into the groove of it and started seeing income, it propelled me to keep doing it. You know. No,
that's incredible. I think that it's inspiring even for the people that are listening and that have that same, like, did you think of yourself as an entrepreneur at that time?
No.
Or were you just scraping? You're like, let me just do whatever
Let
it
me
takes.
just do it.
Okay, but like you didn't think
now.
of it as a business then. And now you do, though.
Yeah,
obviously.
now I do because I have to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now I do because it's like my main income, and I got to pay taxes or whatever I got to do on the business side. You got people to help.
I mean, you got contractors, you got assistant, you got a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm kind of by myself now.
Are you
there
solo
was
dolo?
a thing before, but it's like you got to learn how to do stuff by yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? Especially if you're one of those people, like, you got a certain vision. Only you can really execute.
You're an artist, and you're probably hard to work with.
Yes. So it's like,
because artists are so picky.
Yeah,
and you're like, bro, this is the same thing
you
just did,
like.
But it's like different when you do it because you change the font just a little bit. And then if they're helping you with social media, you're like, well, that's not me. And I manage my social media, but you need people to help you.
Yep. I do all of my social media. Like, I do all of that stuff now.
You edit all the videos too?
All the videos on YouTube?
On social,
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I record and edit, aside from like the, you know, meditation stuff that Cammie has done. And when I did my 100K unboxing, Alex Don Media did that for me. Yeah. But like all my yoga videos, I record them at home. I edit them at home.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, you have to learn how to do it yourself before you can hire somebody else to do it for you.
You really do.
Because then you realize what goes into it, and you're creative, so like you want to value creativity.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's just a job for somebody else, so it's hard. So how did you record your first of all, like, that takes a lot of courage to post on YouTube because you're working at a grocery store. You might be, at least how I was when we started in 2019, is like you're kind of embarrassed to like do something creative because you're like, man, I was like 24 at the time, and I'm like, you know, I should have been like all my friends, like working a job, like being successful, but like now you're posting on social media, and like this was before social media was cool. Now everybody wants to be an influencer and stuff. So was there any like was there any like imposter syndrome that you had when you were posting, or like did you feel that at all when you like would like air
Yeah.
something, you'd be like, man, nobody's watching this, you know?
Yeah, but then like when people start like commenting, it's so
People that you
motivating.
don't know.
Yes,
that's
like
the
people
best
that
when
you don't know.
Yeah.
They're commenting. Oh, this helped me so much, or
Mhm.
and that is really what made me want to keep doing it. Like this is helping people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is also like this is giving them a taste of what I got to experience, and that's like what the passion behind like the YouTube is like.
Mhm.
Yoga helps so many people with so many different situations. Like I always tell people, just go on my YouTube and read comments. You'll see, first of all, you'll see endless comments about people being like, I cried. Like, is that normal? Like, should I have cried? And I'm like, yeah, it happens all the time,
Yeah. And
like
you'll respond.
I'll respond or
Yeah.
I'll, love it or whatever. But yeah, it's helping people and the things that people have been through. I mean, they write me emails about, people have written me emails about being in car accidents and not being able to walk like they used to.
Yeah.
And then they started doing yoga and it's helping,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so impactful. So yeah, that's kind of what really propels me forward is that I'm giving people a piece of what I got when I started, and that feeling and just being able to be more confident in who I am and all of that. So when it came to like imposter syndrome with posting, I had to let a lot of that go because when you're on the internet, especially when you're on YouTube, a big platform or anything you're doing on social media, you cannot let the opinions of others alter too much of what you are doing. You know what I mean? You kind of have to. You have to just have, you really have to have a sense of self. You have to have a sense of self because, we know opinions are abundant and there are so many that happen all the time. Like, and there's a difference between like a suggestion and this might make it be better or whatever. And somebody just, saying whatever they say because it happens all the time,
I'm looking at your YouTube right now and I went back to your first video. This was 6 years ago.
Wow.
It's called Yoga Sequence for Lower Back and Hip Pain.
Wow.
So we might have to resurface this for the pod.
Yes.
But I'm noticing though, and I love this about the journey, is that you have 988 videos. This isn't easy to do. I mean, this is 10,000 hours of 10,000 plus 10,000 plus 10,000. And I think a lot of people think that things should happen quicker than what they should. And so 6 years ago, so that'd have been right around 2019. And the quality was so much different here too. Like this, is this just on a phone?
Yes, on the phone.
Yeah.
All my first videos I recorded on my phone.
Yep. And then you kept putting out. So I guess there was 3 videos 6 years ago, and then you resurfaced 4 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
So
I started
think the first one was the
ago.
8-minute pre-run stretch routine. So these are just random, and like here's you talking full hour yoga class from Facebook Live. So you were doing Facebook Lives, you were doing IGTVs, you were doing everything. And everybody was cooped up in the house.
Yes.
But even like your set has gotten better, like your cover art or what's called thumbnails.
Yes.
And then you go to like your most popular video, which is your 20-minute root chakra yoga.
Yes, and that video's older. That video's like 4 years old.
And it's still going?
It's still going.
Yeah.
It's still my #1 video.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what makes your channel, because there's a lot of yoga channels out there, I mean, what would you say if like somebody's listening, like what makes your channel different?
When I first started teaching doing yoga on YouTube, and I would be like looking at my analytics and stuff and trying to figure out, or looking at other people watching videos like, how do you make your YouTube channel better? So I was like learning about like search engine optimization and stuff like that,
SEO stuff.
And one thing I noticed is that everybody who found me by searching Black woman yoga, Black girl yoga. And so this was like, this is like a deficit in a way, is that it's hard for people to go on YouTube that want to practice yoga with somebody who looks like them and be able to just find it. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit of strategy and also just, me being who I am by putting Black in my YouTube name, Black Yogi Nico Marie. So it's like anytime somebody searches Black yoga or Black woman yoga, I'm going to pop up.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and that's gonna also lead them to other channels with people that they want to practice with or who look like them. So
Yeah.
that was a huge thing. That I think that has brought.
And you did that from the beginning too.
I did that from the beginning. Yep. And I
Because
think
at that time there wasn't people that you could look for at that time. I mean, now there's probably a lot out there.
Yes, now there's definitely
And
more.
you probably inspired a lot of people to
I
start
would
making
hope so.
videos.
A lot of people comment and say, I'm doing a yoga teacher training now because,
Yeah.
and that makes me happy because it's like, okay, good. More of this.
So were you always, I guess you were into fitness, but like you picked up yoga not because of fitness, but also because of stress too. So there was two.
It was honestly, it started because of fitness. Like when I very first started, like just going to yoga classes.
Run. You're like, I'm gonna just lay here and do some
yes,
stretches.
Because I was in high school, I was doing a sport every season. I was doing a sport every season. I'm doing cross country. I'm doing all.
Oh, so you were a runner and everything?
Yes, I was a runner. Everything. I was in track. I was on the wrestling team in high school. Yes.
I wrestled a girl in high school too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How old are you?
How old am I? I'm about to be 35. I'm 34.
Okay, you're older than me. I was gonna say not like
I graduated in 08.
Because I was gonna say I wrestled a girl and it was at McClure, and I probably
at McClure.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I was
now
small,
they
though.
have
I was 103
women's
pounds
and men.
back in the day. Yeah, they have women's and men's teams.
Now they have women's and men's, and I'm like, am I old?
Yeah.
To see that.
Well, it
transition.
used to be when there was a girl on the team. First of all, you were scared because you were scared to lose to the girl.
Yes.
And then also, it's like it's hard for like the one girl to be on the team with all guys.
Yes.
Like that's not a good environment for a high school girl to be in.
Yeah, I loved being on a wrestling team. I
real.
loved it. My wrestling team was awesome. Like when I was at Berkeley,
Yeah.
we had a great team. We had a great team. And then so I wrestled from 103. Like
that's what I wrestled too.
Did you?
Back in high school. So I had a cut weight to 103, and that's why like all the girls were smaller. So it was like 103.
It was like I was already 100 pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You didn't have to cut weight.
I didn't have to cut weight. I didn't have to cut weight maybe till maybe till sophomore year maybe. But then like a lot of teams didn't have a 103 person. So it was like, we would automatically win or by forfeit. Or my coach would be like, because, of course, like it was only so much I could do.
Exactly.
My coach was like, just try not to get pinned.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because wrestling wasn't something I had started with. Because, some of the girls who have been doing that since a young age, they can hang.
Yeah.
But, I was still kind of a beginner. So he was like, just try not to get pinned. So I was just trying not to get pinned so that the team would get 3 points instead of 6 or whatever. You know, and we won districts. We won districts my first year on the team.
That's so funny.
At Berkeley.
So you were a 3-sport athlete, but then did you get out of fitness when you got out of high school?
Because
you were just working at the casino. You're just
you're
doing
just
what
working.
normal people
You're
do.
just going through your day-to-day and whatever. And I'm like, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I need to do something,
Yes.
So I just went to a local studio. I started going to a local studio. She's like, you should be a yoga instructor. I'm like, what? Like, I don't have time for that. And then, like, thinking about the money of the training or whatever. But we worked out a payment plan, and I started teaching there for a while. Wow. And then I branched off. I started doing my own class on the north side at Herb Arts. And I taught there for like 6 years, 5-6 years, kind of sporadically doing classes there. And then, COVID happened, shut all of that down. Yeah. And that's when YouTube started happening. Because people were like, can you put something on a video up so we can still practice,
Yeah, that's so dope. It's like everything happens for a reason. And at that same time, you were also DJing. Mm-hmm. You were also working at Trader Joe's. You were also doing all these things. So you've always had multiple things going.
Always.
How do you balance as an entrepreneur? Because like you said, you didn't think of yourself as an entrepreneur then, but you were. Because you were doing, if you're a DJ, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you have to think of yourself like that. So how did you balance your mental health during that time? I mean, have you had struggles with that, with like mental health and balancing? Because it's lonely when you don't have anybody to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now, you said you're doing everything on your own.
Yeah.
You don't have, I mean, you probably have mentors, but at the end of the day, it's like you fell or you succeed by what you do.
Exactly. It's completely up to you.
Yeah.
I would say like when it came to mental health balance, I just wasn't good at it at first. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just wasn't good at it. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. I wasn't, as deep into yoga when I first started. So, it definitely took, yoga showed me how important my mental health was. Well, I did start going to therapy. I started going to therapy in 2017. That was like my first, when I first started going to therapy. Yeah. And that was definitely helping. Yeah. And then, that's how I got introduced to meditation actually. 'Cause I was kind of just more doing, go to my yoga class, whatever. And when I went to the therapist, like my main thing was like my anxiety. I have like crazy anxiety sometimes. So she's like, okay, I'm going to give you this meditation CD or whatever. So I listened to this meditation CD. You know how people talk about like their first like high or something like that? It was like that. It was like, wow. You know,
You
it
felt
was
that
like
good after.
eye-opening. It was
Was it
eye-opening.
breathing or was it just?
It was
just
breathing and
yeah.
like guided. It was
Yeah.
like a guided voice, but I mean, just the way my body felt, I had never felt before.
Oh wow.
You know, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm actually okay right now. I'm calm right now. You
Yeah.
know, and so it's like, you know, kind of it's in a sense of in that same narrative we were just talking about. It's kind of like chasing that feeling, like
Yeah.
chasing that
Yeah.
you know that high. But
Exactly.
it like every time you do it, it's like, oh man, I forgot how good this is. I
Yeah.
forgot this works.
Right.
I forgot how good I feel after this. I forgot that there's residual effects after this. That I'm calmer in general. You know,
You make better decisions.
you make
and-
better decisions. You make better. You pause.
And people think it's like, I'm glad that the world's opened up to like mindset and stuff like that, because especially as a man, and it's different for women too, but like when you're younger, you're taught not to like meditation. It could seem corny.
Yeah.
Or like these things of
and
like
you're
taking
taught
a
not
minute
to show
for-
emotions. and
taking a minute for yourself, and even you going through trauma, like losing your mom at 16.
Mhm.
It's hard when you have no other woman influence to like teach you what to do in life. Like
Yes.
those, when you're 16, that's probably the most pivotal time to be a
Oh
girl.
my gosh.
And like
16 is
they
crazy.
said, like you're getting in your first relationships. You're
Yes.
going out and drinking and doing things that you wish you
Yes.
could talk to your mom about, or like your mom would
mhm.
probably have told you not to do some
Yes.
certain things.
Things you try to hide from your mom.
And then you have all these things, and my wife, she lost her mom too at a young age, and it's
Mhm.
like, then you have your first baby, or you get married, or
Mhm.
you something happens, and you always are like pulling out your phone. You're like, man, I wish I could call my mom.
Yes,
right now.
it's
And I'm
like-
sure it
it's a-
still happens, and it's been
Mhm.
what, 20 years almost.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but
Yeah.
like I think I'm finally at a point now
Mhm.
where I'm like, I know I'm making her proud. You know,
Yeah.
like at
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
point,
you
like
are.
for a long time, there
Yeah.
was so much question in my
Yeah.
mind of like, is this what she would be wanting me to do? Like, would she be proud of this? But
Mhm.
one thing, my mom, the reason I'm such a hustler and I always had multiple things going
Yeah.
is because that's what she was doing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like my mom, she worked at Purina for like 30 years or
Oh,
something
wow.
crazy like that. Like,
Yeah.
and I remember like going to her job and being in her office, take your kid to work day and all of
Yeah.
this stuff. So she was bringing home the bacon. She
Nice.
was like the one. So she inspired me, and that that's why I'm so like driven.
Yes. Yeah.
Just watching her take care of the house and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But-
no, that's awesome. So I kind of want to pivot a little bit to, so now you're a full-time entrepreneur,
Mhm.
doing your thing. Walk us through like your ideal day. Like, what does your day-to-day look like? Because I feel like people just think that you're just doing yoga all day, or you're just chilling, or you're at a party DJing. But like, what goes into like or like, what would be an ideal day? Like, you wake up, what time you waking up? Or where are you going for? Like, what are you doing? And then like,
Mhm.
what work stuff do you have to do throughout the day?
So usually, like when I know I'm getting close to a certain time, I start to assess what needs to get done.
Mhm.
Like, whether I have to answer emails, record videos, or whatever. So say on a day where I know I need to record some videos. So usually I'm getting up, and then first thing I probably do is open Instagram or YouTube and answer comments or read comments or
Mhm.
DMs or whatever I need to do.
Mhm.
Scroll for a minute, of course. Probably save some stuff that
Yeah.
I can use later.
Waste too much time a little bit sometimes.
Yes, waste
Yeah.
too much time a little bit sometimes. And then if it's a day that I know I'm gonna record yoga videos, I won't like do my personal practice in the morning. I'll just I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna be recording 4 hours of yoga or whatever. So I'll do that later. But any day, every day, I do yoga every day. I do
Oh, really?
yoga every day. So
Mhm.
I'll wake up and do my yoga. Then I'm like, okay, what outfit am I gonna wear? Is
And that's
this
the first thing you do if you're not recording that day, you like to wake up and do yoga?
Yes, I like to wake up and do yoga. So after, I do my little scrolling
Yeah.
and answering comments,
Yeah.
I get on my mat in the morning.
Okay,
Like
nice.
that's ideal for me, because if I'm trying to like do other stuff, I'm gonna get so deep lost into that
Yeah.
that I won't make time. So
Exactly.
I'll get up and I'll do yoga, and then I'll kind of get myself ready. Like,
Mhm.
what am I gonna wear for the video or whatever? What do I have to do?
Yeah.
So I'll start setting up, my set. So now I have a newer place now, and I have like a room that's like my office now. So in my old place, I had to kind of like move my furniture around and
Yeah.
stuff.
Every time you wanted to shoot,
Yes,
you're like,
every
this
time
is
I-
like literally where I live.
Yes. So I had to move everything around.
And you're like, I'm filming this. Everybody can see my house. It's weird. Yeah.
Exactly. It's weird. So now I have like I have one room that I've designated for it. So my DJ stuff is in there. My yoga setup is in there,
Yeah.
and like my desk where
Nice.
I edit and stuff is in there.
Nice.
So
that's you're just locked in.
Locked in.
You might be there all day.
Oh, you might be there all day. You might be there for 8 hours.
And like that's lonely sometimes. You're just sitting in there editing a video, and you're just like, bro, I don't got the energy for this shit.
Man,
right
but
now.
I'm just working. And then, sometimes I might get a phone call in between, so I'll talk on the phone for a little while to whoever.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm great about though is like I will take a break. You know what I mean? Like, I will take a break if it's like I can do this tomorrow because I want to talk to my friend or I want to go. You want to go to lunch? Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the great thing about being a entrepreneur and working for yourself. You can make those decisions if you have the capacity to make them. Yeah. Say I'll record some videos, and then in that time, I'm also like, okay, do I need to get some content done? Do I need to get some Instagram content done or whatever? So then I'll be like, okay, what am I going to do? I want to do this mix, or I want to do this, a compilation where I show these albums, figure out what that is. Or it might just be like some little like B-roll, like me walking. Like if I go to park, I'll just record myself walking in the park. And it's like, okay, well, I could use this for something. Yeah. So I'll be figuring out what that is. So when I record my DJ videos, I'll record at least 3. But and I kind of, my math in my mind is like, okay, if I record 4, I could put 1 out a week. Mm-hmm. So that'll be, my DJ content for a month or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'll record my content, whatever, just kind of have that on my phone ready to go when I'm ready to access it. And then after I'm done recording videos, I get to editing, I get to editing. That usually takes a few hours, and like my editing process, I made it as easy on myself as possible. So what I'll do is I kind of really just started doing stuff like messing with the settings on my camera. Like at first I was pressing auto, boom, let's go for it. Yeah. Have my microphone, boom. Because honestly, on YouTube, people kind of don't care. Yeah. Like they do not care.
Some of the higher produced stuff looks almost like a commercial. I mean, it's dope. Like I'm sure you're going to get there, but like people understand, like they like resonate with they feel like that you're in their living room with them.
They like it. They like seeing your stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They'll like comment on your stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I noticed you have this speaker in the background. What is that? Or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'll like edit the videos or whatever.
So and now you're messing with like color grading and like
a little bit. It might be like a little bit like shadows, highlights. Okay, some of that. Mm-hmm. But I don't get too deep into it because my brain. I just
you just have to cut it up, or sometimes you just let it roll.
I'll just let it roll. Like I'm really good at teaching yoga, you know what I mean? Right. So like it's like when I'm recording, if I make a mistake, like
you just keep rolling.
I keep rolling. Unless it's something that I really, really don't need to be there or whatever, like me falling or something like that. But if I like stumble a little bit or something, I keep it there because people need to know, even
because they're stumbling on the other side.
They're stumbling on the other side. Like, we all stumbling. We all do it. We all do it. So like, I don't want them, I like them to know that I'm a real person.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I keep that stuff in there. So usually I'll put my AirPods on and I'll kind of let the video roll and listen to it. Cause that's usually what I'm kind of listening for. Like maybe if my microphone messed up, or at my old place, it was really noisy. Mm-hmm. So if there's something I needed to try to cut out or something like that. So I'll just let that roll. And while I'm listening or whatever, I'll be like making my thumbnails, writing my captions. Mm-hmm. And now I've started, like within the past few months, I've started recording a second angle on my phone. Nice. So then I'll like transfer that over and kind of cut that. Yep.
You can make those cuts easier too when you have that second angle. You can like make those cuts nicer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's like a really like the creative process. And then let's say you clock out. I mean, you clock out for the day after you record. Then you're DJing that night, depending on what the night is, or like you're not doing as many gigs as you have in the past. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So usually like now, if I know I got a gig that day, then I won't record. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's too much energy.
It's too much. Yeah. Like I'll prepare for my gig. Okay, what is this gig? What do I need to do? I need to bring speakers. What do I need to have ready to go? Because I need to have all that stuff by the door ready to go, because it's gonna take however long for me to get ready. Exactly. And then I have all of that stuff ready to go. What am I gonna play? What is this? What is this event? What is this for? Like, what's the vibe? So getting my library together, getting all that together. But yeah, I won't record videos and like do a gig in the same day. Like maybe I'll record them, but I won't edit them that day. You know what I mean? Right. Because I don't want to be overwhelmed.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
I know.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the album, because that's the main reason I reached out to you. Is I just saw the video the other day and like just made me think, like, why haven't I had you on the show before? And I was like, so I'm watching the video now. Like, it starts out this like incredible palm trees, which like we're in St. Louis. Like, I don't know how you like. I mean, I know this spot, but it's like, what made you guys think of going to this spot? It's just so dope. But it's called Meeting Myself for the First Time. So you're in your 30s. You've obviously met yourself before, but tell us what the album means and what that title means to you, and then we can talk more about kind of like the context of it.
It was kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about like my newfound self. Like after I started doing yoga every day and really it started making me very self-aware, made me very self-aware, and like everything around you starts to look different when you start to grow and you start to like build confidence in yourself. And one thing I started learning is like there's so much I can do that I didn't know that I could do, whether it be like with the yoga channel and me reaching the subscribers I did. And then like all these people, one time I asked like, where are you from? People are all over the world. And I'm like, dang. Yeah. Like, okay, this is way bigger than I ever anticipated it to be, And so, like, doing yoga every day and meditating, it just, it rewired me, It rewired me. Like, my core is the same. The history of who I am and how I got to be who I am is the same. But it really intensified and was enhanced when I was able to kind of step outside of myself. And because, when in COVID, like everybody, you had to look at yourself. You couldn't hide from stuff anymore. You couldn't really run away from your problems because there's nowhere to go. You couldn't, so just becoming a person who chose that she was going to be happy, that I'm going to be happy in whatever I'm doing, and whatever that means. If that means I have to say no to stuff, that I can't do certain stuff, that I can't be around certain people, that, then that's what it is. But the priority is me. You know what I mean? The priority is me. So once I was like able to feel that and really be intentional about doing that every day, again, it's like I could actually see myself like, oh, this is a real me. You know what I mean? This is the real me. I'm here. I've arrived, and I'm still constantly evolving. But it's like I was really like, wow, you're amazing. Like you always been. You just didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's inspiring. I feel like for people listening, like younger people being able to hear that, because it took you a while to figure that out.
A long time.
Like if you could go back and you wish you could have lived that truth when you were 17, 18, 19, like imagine where you would be now.
Yeah.
And I think people have limitless belief and they don't, like I'm very big on mindset. One of the things I do a lot is the law of attraction. Like what you speak is what is real. So it's like when you speak things and when you hear people, and like I have 2 daughters and they don't speak yet, but when they do speak, like can't is the baddest word you could say. Like I'd rather them say the F word than they say they can't, because when you say you can't do something, you're telling the universe that, yeah, you're right. Yep. You can't. So I think that like meeting myself for the first time, I think that that's something that I wish I would work on more, is like, especially as a dad and an entrepreneur and like 2 young kids, it's like really hard to balance yourself and like, whether it's yoga, whether it's like whatever it is that we do, like I like to cook or whatever it is, like people that find that passion. And then now with the internet, you can just put it out there. And then if other people, it doesn't have to be 27,000 people or 190,000 people for you to get that affirmation. It only takes one comment.
That part.
We get one comment. We get a ton of bad comments sometimes, like on our page, like just people like, why didn't you feature this? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? But then when I get that one positive comment,
then you don't even care.
I screenshot it and I just bank it. And I'm like, I need that.
And there's always more positive than negative.
Oh, way more. Yeah.
Always.
Way more. I usually, when I see the negative, it does beat me up a little.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
It does. So tell me about the album, because this isn't a traditional album.
Yeah, no.
It's out now, right?
It's out now.
Okay. That came quick because I knew you released one track and then it came out with that video the other day.
Yes.
Okay. So what's been the feedback so far? I mean, what are people saying?
Oh my gosh, it's been great. Like even from the release of the single. So it's produced by Damon Davis. Damon Davis,
dope,
crazy mind.
I need to get him on here too.
He's so good.
Yeah, I think I reached out, but he's got like people and people and people.
He's doing so many things. It's insane.
He's like, oh, hit my assistant.
He's doing so much, and it's all like amazing.
Yeah.
So like
He
Damon,
did that
like
piece outside the city soccer stadium. Didn't he do something
yes,
outside?
he did those big pillars
Yeah.
outside of the
Yes. Yeah.
So he's doing huge, amazing things.
Mhm.
And you know, when I was thinking about who I wanted to produce it, or who I wanted to work with, Damon, he had a album, Lady in the Water, and it was just beautiful. I liked everything about it. I liked that it was offbeat and different, and you know, that there was clearly this creative vision, and I was just like loving everything about it. So I'm like, you know, let me hit up Damon and see if he would be down to do it. And he thankfully he was. So he produced it.
Wow.
And so I went to Damon's studio, and we kind of had like this discovery session. And Damon, the easiest thing for him to do is make music.
Okay.
Like, he can make music so fast. All the tracks that are on the album are the tracks that we started with, where we made them up in a day. Like, he produced all of those in a day.
Just like a feeling that he had from the meeting, or he
Yes.
probably already knew coming into it. He's like, all right, I already know her vibe. I know.
Yes,
her
and I
energy.
explained like, you know, I want it to be like this, and like I don't want like any drums, like you know, I want it to be this way. And he had done meditation projects before, so it was like, you know, he was revisiting this with me, and so he made those like 5 songs we initially, and he kind of built off of them. And then I was at home like writing lyrics and trying to figure out like how to write lyrics, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm asking people like, okay, how do I do this? Or I don't really know how to, you know, and it's so funny because you think you don't know. You think you don't know, but like, that's something I always been doing, you know, whether I'm at home and I'm cooking, I make up a little song like, oh, I'm cooking chicken, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so,
and you're writing, you're creative, and you're writing,
yes.
and it's poetry. Like, you used to read poetry with your mom,
Yes,
and like then
used
you
to read
take
poetry,
all those
write
word
poetry.
plays, and then you listen to music all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, I listen to all these people 24/7. You know.
Yep. So I was so intimidated by that process because of the people I look up to, you know, in the music world, and me thinking that they are, you know, how great they are and how inspiring they were to me. And I'm like, I want to be really good, you know? And so that's the part that gets intimidating, because you're like, is it good enough? You know what I mean? Is it too simple? It's not complex enough or whatever. So kind of having those struggles.
Enough, that's the hard part. It's
exactly.
like, it's always like you're probably listening to it, it's like, man, I could have changed that, or I could have went back in there and like, but you'll do it again.
Yeah, you'll do it again, and then like you like it more. Like, well, the more I listen to it, the more I love it. You know, I'm like, oh, that was good. You know what I mean? And then like the people who make the comments and stuff, and there's certain things they comment on. Like people comment on the production. Like my subscribers, they're so in tune. Like they're super in tune. They're super attentive, and a lot of them are creatives, and they've seen a lot and heard a lot, and they'll be like, oh, I love the use of this or that. You know, they're so in depth with their comments.
5 minutes in and I'm stunned. Beautiful, so enchanting, uplifting. Keep going. This is so needed. Like, that's it. That's all I need.
Mean, they always say great things.
And you're like, that's all I need right there.
They
so
always
peaceful.
say amazing
I absolutely love it. All the heart emojis. You're
yes,
like, let's go,
all the
turn me up.
emojis. They love it. They love it. So that's like, it just, I mean, they love it. And you know, it's a great project. It's a great project. So I just know like when more listens, even more listens get to it, like people are really gonna understand like, oh, like she really did it. Like she really tried really hard. You know what I mean? I didn't just say like, okay, you know, like I'll just do this little No, we worked on this for a long time. We started working on this 9 months ago. Oh, wow. You know what I mean? And like so many things happened up until this point, and we're finally here where it's out, and it's great.
Yeah, it's hard to do things. It's hard to like
so hard.
Focus because
especially
of
with
all
your
the
own money,
distractions.
or you know, or trying to get money from people to help you do things.
Yeah,
like
you
thank
funded
goodness
this all
for
on your own.
grant.
Yeah.
I see a regional art.
Yeah,
I got a regional arts commission. Yeah. I'm like, thank you,
They're the best.
Regional Arts Commission.
Vanessa and all them over there, they're so great. So let's talk a little bit about St. Louis. So you're from St. Louis, and now you're like so embedded in the community. I mean, I'm sure all these people are going to listen to it and like hear these stories that they've never heard before, and that's like the goal of this podcast. But let's talk about what the support of St. Louis has meant to you in your journey, because it'd be hard to do anything without like those positive affirmations.
Yes.
You know.
I mean, it's everything to me, and like everything I did on the album was with people who are from or are local to St. Louis. You know, I mean, with the exception of like a couple things here and there, like, but everybody wanted to do it. You know, and that's what made what makes it so great. Everybody who I asked, to be involved, creatively. Cammy, Nayera, Justin, Adrian, Damon, they wanted to do it, and so it's like, oh, this is much.
And those are like the best of the best people. You could
Yeah,
get.
and it's like, this is much easier than I thought. Like when it comes to building this thing out, because even when I think about like some artists that are independent that we follow, it's like, I know it takes a lot for them to do what they're doing, because a lot of times they have to use their own money and stuff like that, which, I definitely identify with. Had to use a lot of my own money. Still using a lot of my own money. Thank goodness for help and donations from my subscribers. Like, they are so great. But yeah, it's the support of St. Louis means everything, because it's my home. You know what I mean? And we know that saying, like, you can't spell hustle without STL. You know what I mean? And it's embedded in you. So it's
we
like,
figure it out, and it's like, we're such a small city, but we do such big things.
We do huge things.
And you're one of those people that are doing amazing things for us, not only just in St. Louis, but like, I think we take for granted the national impact, and you're just getting started too.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about it is, like, it's only been really 5 years since you've been going, less than that. It's been, since, 2020 and 2021, where you've really been going hard. That's not that much time.
Yeah, you're right.
It's really not that much time. So, what about the impact you want to leave? Like, is there some future goals that you haven't done yet, or things that maybe you have on your vision board of like things that you want to do? Like, I don't like the word 5-year goal, because it's so hard to think in those terms, but like, are there things that you want to do in the future? Like, I mean, are you going to open up your own studio, or is that even something you want to do? Or is it more just growing on digital and trying to like reach a bigger audience? I mean, do you have bigger goals like that?
It is really just kind of growing in what I'm already doing, like the idea of like owning like a studio seems stressful to me. You know what I mean?
And not very profitable.
No, because I mean, when I was as a yoga teacher, I mean, like, you working in the studio, you ain't really making nothing.
No, you gotta love it.
It's like, you better love it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I figured out the key. I could do better on YouTube, and I can teach a massive audience.
Way more than you could do in a class.
Way more than I could have done in a class. You know what I mean? So it's really just about spreading the power of yoga, meditation, and also just the power of the self, like power of the mind. Like, we as individuals are so extremely powerful, and like, it's scary to me sometimes. You know what I mean? You know how sometimes you like, oh, I want to do this thing. You're like, oh my gosh, that would be huge, and it's intimidating.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, just as long as I'm putting a smile on people's faces, whether it's playing a record, I mean, making people dance. No, Erykah Badu says that the DJ is the weatherman. You know what I mean? So being able to
set the vibe.
You set the vibe. You set the vibe. You can be the difference between people having a great time and not having a great time. And all of that kind of blends together for me when it comes to just making people feel good. With movement, with breath, or with just releasing and letting go, and really just having a moment for you. That's really my goal. So just being able to do my art and be happy is like my top priority. My top priority is my happiness, because everything falls under that. If I'm not feeling good, I can't make good art. If I like one thing I say a lot about this meditation album, I can't make a meditation album if I'm stressed.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So just having to just letting go of anything that's gonna inhibit me feeling good about what I'm doing. I don't want it. You know what I mean? I don't want it in my life. I don't want it around me. Anything that's gonna like affect me too much negatively. So that's
power. I think that like you're inspiring so many people by being able to be your own creative self, because who would have thought when you were working at the slots at Ameristar that you would have this platform where hundreds of thousands of people see you every month, and now like that's your job.
Yes,
like
that was my job.
Like you said, your mom's proud of you. It's like your mom's like, what? Like she had to work a job, a 9 to 5, just like all these other people do, and just like 99% of the people that are listening. But there's such a huge opportunity now with the internet, and the positive side of the internet, and it's the same thing that we do with STL Bucket List, is like we don't share any negative. That's for the news. Like the news is for that. Like we don't want to.
And you get that all the time.
I love
from
the
so many
VOTP.
places.
I love those guys. They do a good job. But like
Mhm.
I sometimes don't want to follow them because I'm like, I don't even want to see
be
it.
stressed.
They
I
post
don't
like
wanna
50
be
times a
stressed.
day. I love
Mhm.
their page. They do a great job. They're independent reporters. But even like the news is like, I don't want to watch the news.
No.
And it's the same with you. It's like I'm here to entertain people and I'm
Mhm.
here to move and you have to feel good to do that. So
Mhm.
I think you're inspiring other younger people that want to also get into that career too. So you should feel really good about that. And I want to talk a little bit more about St. Louis and then we can wrap. I'm very respectful of your time. So let's talk about the STL bucket list.
Okay, yes.
So people, when I told some people that you were coming on, they're like, well, I want to know where her favorite spots are to eat.
Mhm.
I want to know where you like to go to, just places that you love in St.
Mhm.
Louis. So
Mhm.
places that you hang out to celebrate. Let's actually start here. You dropped the album 3 days ago, right?
Mhm.
Now when this podcast comes out, it'll be out for a week or so. But where's like a place that you would go to celebrate? What's like a bucket list spot? Like whether it's food or drinks or whatever.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm very much a homebody,
You're like, I didn't go.
but I
Like I
like to
celebrate.
go to the park.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I like Tower Grove Park.
Yeah, Tower Grove Park.
I
Special.
love Tower Grove Park because Tower Grove Park, you're gonna experience some nature. You're gonna see some animals. One time I was there, I saw a bat.
Oh,
I had
wow.
never seen a bat in my life.
That's crazy.
Geese, they just walk by you.
Yeah.
Like you're not there. Even like bees.
It's beautiful right now too.
It's
This
beautiful.
last weekend, the first weekend of spring.
I love Tower Grove Park. And then like, they have those magnolia trees.
Yes.
And then like there's a certain time of year where those big, beautiful magnolias bloom.
Yep.
I just love the park and I love
Mhm.
being there, sitting there in the grass,
Yeah.
doing whatever. Because a lot of people are out there doing the same thing.
Right.
They're out there
Mhm.
doing the same thing, chilling.
Yeah.
As you've seen on my Instagram, I love to skate. So a skating rink,
Yeah.
the skating rink, the
I
park.
did see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where do you skate at?
Skate King.
Skate
So
King?
Skate King is really old, but I mean, it's so. I've been going to Skate King. Like anybody who like was skating as they were a kid, they were
Yeah.
going to Skate King. You
So
know
I'm
what I
from
mean?
St. Charles, and we used to have Great Skate out there.
What?
In St. Charles, there was a place called Great Skate.
Wow.
But like, it wasn't the same as when I see your videos of that. It was mostly just a bunch of crazy ass kids, just like
Just,
skating, like on sugar, drinking, like whatever
Yes.
soda, and then like, but like yours is like you're actually like dancing and skating. And, like, you're really good.
St. Louis has like a really rich skating culture.
I didn't know that, but they reached out to us because we need to come out there and film a video and do a
yeah.
STL bucket list video. They'd be like,
Yes.
and talk about the history of that.
It's got such a
Because Brock
history.
Seals told me to go there because
Yes.
he did some stuff with them.
We
too.
even like St. Louis has a style. Like if you go to when I go to other cities and skate,
Yeah.
people be like, "Where you from?" You know what I mean? Or they be
Really?
like, "You from St. Louis?" You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like one time I went to Austin and I was skating and this guy came up to me and he said, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from St. Louis." He said, "I'm from Memphis."
Oh, really?
And like St. Louis and Memphis, we kind of have some similarities.
Yeah.
So we skated together.
Yeah.
It's like you
And
automatically
you're
knew
like
what to
going
do.
backwards. And
Yeah,
you're,
going
like,
backwards.
Crazy.
St. Louis is big on skating backwards. There's a lot of places that don't skate backwards and we'll skate. We're smooth skaters. Like
Yes.
that's our thing. Is
Yeah.
we're smooth skaters. We skate like butter,
So are
and
you only in the
Mm-hmm.
you skate outside though too, or they're
I'm
different
mostly
skates?
inside in the inside rink, but we
Okay.
do have an outside rink called in Dalewood,
Okay.
and every now and then I'll go to Dalewood. But yeah, it's mostly inside.
So that's a bucket list spot for you though.
Oh,
Skate
yeah.
King. Yeah. What about food? Are you a foodie?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I would say so. My favorite place, I'm not gonna lie, is Pickleman's. Like,
Okay. I mean that's cool. That's cool.
I'm gonna get a
but like you need a
sandwich.
sandwich and it's quick and you're
And
like,
it's open late. So
Yes.
like I'll go say I'm going skating late at night. I'll go to Pickleman's. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? On the SLU campus, Pickleman's,
right
that's
there,
my
yeah.
favorite one because they are so good and they always get the order right. But I like Sweet Art. Sweet Art is an awesome place and
Yeah,
they're a
it's a good
vegan
spot.
spot.
Mhm.
I'm not vegan, but their food is good.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
It's
You know what I
period.
mean?
It doesn't matter. That chicken sandwich is up with any regular chicken.
It could put it next to
I don't know how
toe
it
to
looks
toe.
like that. I need to get because I've been trying to get her on too, and I'm like, I don't know why it looks like a real chicken.
They
I don't
they
understand.
know what they are doing.
And they have a new spot too. She does.
Do they?
Yeah, it's in the Foundry. They have a little pop up in
Ooh,
the city Foundry.
Okay, I will be there.
Yeah, it's called like Sweet Art 2 with
Mm.
like a little peace sign like 2.
Oh.
So it's kind of cool.
I
Yeah.
love that. Well, my favorite fancy spot is Louis.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
Louis is a good
Louis,
spot.
and I
Yeah.
love like the staff.
Yeah.
Louis.
They make you feel really good there, and it like feels like you're almost in like a New York like New York
Yes,
City. Like,
and then
you're
it's
in
like
this little
dark,
cozy, and that
and
neighborhood's
like
really cute over there
I just
too.
act like I'm, you know what I
Fancy.
mean?
You're like, I'm fancy.
Fancy. Like, yes, I'm just
But
here
it's
for the
not
night.
pretentious though, because like you could go in and wear a hoodie like that and not
Totally.
feel like you're out of place. Like you wouldn't
Totally.
feel like when you go to some places, you're like, man, I don't really feel like I need to I'm not gonna be
Mhm.
dressed up. I want to still have a good vibe, but then like the staff's still really great.
Yes, it's so chill, and they just want you to have a good time.
Yeah.
Like they see you having a good time. Like me and my friends, and one time, I mean, we're laughing.
Right.
It was like Sex in the City or something.
Yes.
Like we're having a good time, and then the chef sauce or somebody, and they're like sending us dishes over. Like
Yeah.
it just makes you feel amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love Louis. It's cool, and I like clementines. Oh my god!
So
Like
if you
I'm
go to
such a-
Louis, you gotta go to Clementine's after.
Like, you
and
have
then
to-
it's the
it's
best
right
night.
there.
It's the best night. And then if you're really feeling frisky, you go to that wine bar right there, Sasha's.
Sasha's
and
on.
you go to the
yes.
little rooftop. They got the little rooftop there. So I'm like,
Ooh,
that's a
yes,
good night.
I like Sasha's
That's,
too.
that's a good night. So you like drinking?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I don't drink at all.
Oh,
I
you
don't drink at all. But all the places now got mocktails.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
They also I just get like a so then I can fit in. I got my little cup.
And it looks good, and then you just feel great.
Yeah, you just feel great. It's, and it's some cute little spritzer or whatever, or some
So I love the mocktails, but like, why are they charging like $12 for mocktails in St. Louis? I'm like, bro, come on.
they are
Like,
doing
that's
that.
juice.
And then
That's
some of
juice.
them, it's juice. Now some of them they will add the
The
non-alcoholic
fake
liquor. Yeah.
Which then I'm like, okay, that costs
like I
money.
get that. It probably costs.
But if they give you like a 7-Up with grenadine, what's that
Like,
called? A
come on
Shirley
now.
Temple, and they're charging like $8.
Give me
for
a
it.
water. Like I'm
Give
not
me a
doing
water.
that. You know what I mean? I am not doing
Cocktails,
that.
And it's like, but I get it. Like, but I'm like, if they're really putting in work and making the stuff from scratch,
Mhm.
because some of the mocktails you taste,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're real.
Oh yeah, like when you go to some of those nicer restaurants, they are curating the
Yeah.
non-alcoholic cocktails.
Yeah,
They're
'cause it's
giving
so
you an
popular
experience.
now. I mean,
Yes,
I talk
'cause
to
it's
younger
so
people all
popular.
the time, and like,
Mhm.
I'm almost 30, and like we grew up drinking. When you were
Mhm.
19,
I mean,
20,
man,
21, 22,
listen.
in St. Louis,
Crazy
like,
stuff.
people were just doing crazy stuff, and like
Mhm.
kids now are like so responsible. I feel like.
Yes, I'm
They're
like,
oh, I mean,
baby.
they're in tune with their mind, but they're smoking weed and stuff, which I'm like, that's great. That's a lot
Mhm.
better than drinking.
Oh,
So,
yes, do that. If you go, you know what I mean? If you're young,
but when we
and
were
you gotta
younger,
pick.
though, like I remember getting in so much trouble for having weed on me.
weed was
But then, like
totally
alcohol, it's like, oh,
different.
that's normal.
Yes, it's like everybody was doing that, drinking Four Locos, whatever,
Four
like
Locos. That was the
about
first
to
time I got
die.
drunk
But
was
if
on a
you
Four
smoke some
Loko.
weed, it
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, the Four Locos.
Shame on you.
Was one of the first times. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm like,
I don't even know how they're
I
still in
can't even
business.
smell a Four
How are
Loco
they
right
still in
now.
business?
I have
I
no
saw
idea.
a Four Loko truck driving down the street. I'm like, who's keeping them in business
I'm-
right now?
Listen, when I had my last one, that was the last one. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Part of the reason why I stopped drinking altogether. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
my
great.
stomach.
Well,
no.
and kind of like for your brand, it's like you're so in tune with your body. It's like if you're putting poison in your body,
Mhm.
not like saying it's like not on brand. Like you can still have a good time, but like
Mhm.
part of like what you do is like in the yoga community, it's like eating healthy,
Yeah.
active.
Mhm.
So just to wrap up, tell people where they can follow you at. You got like 17 different pages and
know.
stuff. So maybe if it's just easier, I can drop the links.
We'll do that too. But you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Black Yogi Nico Marie. We're at like 197-ish, something like that. Follow my DJ page, DJ Nico Marie, for music stuff and skating and whatever else I decide to do on there. Yoga page is the same. Follow me at Yoga with Nico. TikTok is DJ Nico Marie. X is the same. Yoga with Nico, DJ Nico Marie, Blue Sky, all of that same.
Nice. Oh, you're on everything.
Yeah, I'm on all the
TikTok,
stuff.
you
Now,
gotta be.
I'm not gonna say I'm active on everything all the time, but I'm there.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Well, Nico, I appreciate your time. Congratulations on the
Luke.
new album. And I just really hope that you can keep finding the motivation to keep going.
For sure.
And you inspire other people too.
Thank
So,
you, Luke.
all
Happy
right.
to be here.
Yeah, appreciate you. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Today they rep St. Louis, yeah. They rep St. Louis. They rep St. Louis.